Welcome to gotkushTV, the UK's #1 conscious platform. We are here, Blacktricity, and live in the place with us right about now. Just gave an absolutely fabulous presentation in regards to childbirth and all good things with what is termed as doulas. We have once again here with us at gotkushTV, Blacktricity, Beyond the Return. Welcome, Sister Mut.
Thank you for having me again.
Thoroughly enjoyed the presentation in regards to the importance of childbirth and making sure that we bring the expertise to the African continent. That's what I got mainly from. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, that's right, absolutely. I think it's important because we often see ourselves as very different and we're very much the same. And I think the skill set, even down to some of the herbs we use, are the same. We just use it in different forms and maybe different potencies. So we have to bridge that gap. And that's the most important thing, is understanding, okay, that mortality rate that we always hear about in Africa, it's the same mortality rate that we're having over here in the West. So what's going on? And that's the bigger question and a deeper question, and it needs to be unpacked here and abroad, but it definitely needs to be looked at abroad, because there is this fallacy that everything here is rosy.
The thing I really wanted to ask, and hopefully you could bring across to us, was childbirth has been such a natural thing for human beings, humanity, for thousands of years, and now it seems to be ever more complicated in the West the further we go on, where we're seeing more moves away from maybe a natural form of birth to the science of in vitro fertilization, and also as well when people are giving birth, more cesarean based, which I know limits you to a couple of births. So I think my question is, how is it that something so natural to our women has become so complicated?
Intervention is a big thing. Litigation is a big thing. When you're having to deal with hospitals that are scared of litigation more than they're scared of actually producing a real powerful and positive service, that holds a lot of weight. People are also de-skilled now. You know, the same skills that they used to have to do a cesarean, you know, to have a woman deliver naturally. A lot of the training that comes through now, as the generations become more academic, technological, but also academics weighs heavily. You know, getting the right amount of births, having the right stats on, you know, making it in midwifery becomes an important factor more than the actual service. It's that care, it's that attention to detail that's missing. It's that looking in another woman's eyes and knowing in that moment, don't say a word to her, she's gonna pop. You know, in terms of her emotions, you know, that when a woman is in labor and she may, you know, you see these things in the films where, you know, don't talk to her right now, she's, you know, she's right in the heavy throes of childbirth. That's actually a science. To be able to leave a woman, it's called a no-hands approach. You don't have to, in midwifery, what they do, which interrupts labor. If you check a woman every 15 minutes and she's in a pattern, what happens is she gets herself into a rhythm. And she finds a rhythm, and then suddenly somebody comes along and says, okay, can I listen to the baby? And then she has to come back again out of that state, because childbirth is a particular state. You're going into a warrior-like state for you to deliver. You've got to let go of all your inhibitions. You've got to let go of your fears. You've got to take control of your mind and let go of any concerns in that moment and not try to control your body. That becomes another factor if you are a controlling type of female, or live in an environment where, you know, you're business centered and you're doing more, you know, the role that you have right now becomes more masculinized. It's not so much that you're masculine, but you may be in a CEO of a company. That then says that, you know what, you need some more support to relax. You need more support to centralize yourself, to know what's in front of you, to trust your own process, to trust your body. And that training doesn't get done through your contact with your midwife in the same way. You see her, she does your blood, she does your series of questions, tick, 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 and you're on your way. You've had a 10-minute appointment. And you have a few of those during the course of your pregnancy, and it's not the same as the continuity of care. And that's why our role, even as a traditional midwife or a traditional birth attendant, the role, that continuity, that care, that relationship that you develop, you become like family to those people for the rest of your life. Like the people that I've done births with, they're like family now. Like I'm like the extension, like I'm the village midwife to them. Like
you gotta bring in.
Listen, the children, I'm coming to birthday parties and the babies are still, they're 13 years old. The last one, I went last year to one of them. It's 13. And every time I come, I can't, they make the announcement that I arrived. It's like, that's how you're treated, but that is because your role is valued and they know what it could have been like. Those mothers know it could have gone this way without the presence of someone. Doesn't have to be me, but someone who does a role like that, who's going to give you that continuity of care. And that is what it is. A lot of people are de-skilled now, and it's and losing the art and the science of childbirth.
If somebody listening right about now wanted to get into being a traditional doula, or even wanted to contact one, how would they go about it? Because as you're saying, it's a rarity at this present time, and it's a skill that's being lost.
It is a skill that's been lost, but over here it's becoming kind of more and more apparent. I think people are looking for it more and more, especially during these lockdown times. They've actually stated. How
do you find it?
Well, in the guidelines, they're saying you can have that person as your support bubble. A doula as part of your support bubble, because they know that care is key. How would you find a doula? You can Google them. You can find many sources of doulas. You only have to type in the word. You can find one in your area. Often they're localized. Obviously, it's better to find someone who's localized to you. If you want, I'm in London and you're in Birmingham, that's going to be tricky. You want to be able to find someone who is in your area so that you're in a position where they can get to you easily. You might want to find a woman who is of color, so you may have to do some checking. There are databases for that that you can look into. I won't do any advertising about that, but there are databases for where centralized, where doulas are centralized. Some doulas have been doing it for many, many years. I don't centralize anymore or become part of a hub, so to speak, because I've been doing it for such a long time. It's a different skill for me in that sense, and a different path. But I think it's quite easy to find over here, and it's still very, very easy to find in the States. I think it's really important that we start linking into those things. And women who've never heard of it, this is going to be, today is probably going to be possibly the first time somebody's ever heard of that. So obviously the contact details, you can contact me, you can have a conversation. I get a lot of calls about women wanting me to train them. So that's an area that I may be looking at training women to become doulas. Could
you see yourself training women to become doulas on the motherland, on the continent of Africa? There's a lot of country.
100%, yeah. I'd love to work. Personally, I'd love to work. Part of the reason for getting involved in this in the first place, for me, was when I had my son pain-free, and then I had the second one, no midwife, and the third one, no midwife. For me, it became more and more clear and more apparent that the skills are not. I will be reading a book and I'll be like, okay, they've sourced Africa again. Every book, every textbook sources Africa for its statistics, for its data. So it's kind of like, why am I going through you guys, the middleman? There are lots of skills, particular skills that you have, that I have. Let's transfer skills. Let's exchange skills. Let's get this dialogue going, and let's save your babies, and you can save ours.
Well said. I don't think I can add to that at this present time. Hopefully you'll come back and do some more with us. And if anybody wanted to find you, where can we find you? You can find me on Insta, Urban Goddess Evolution, or you can find me at www.urbangoddessevolution.com. Marvellous. Thank you so much, Sister Mut. Yeah, a doula in our community who has been helping with childbirth, educates about childbirth. And the main thing in educating and telling us about childbirth, Sister Mut does it with African eyes, African feelings and African ears, which is extremely important as we are here having a great time pre-Kwanzaa festival, Beyond the Return and Blacktricity. Don't forget it, Blacktricity on your screen. Keep it where you got it. The UK's #1, gotkushTV. We're in the house.
Blacktricity, gotkushTV's exclusive pre-Kwanzaa showcase is now available for you to watch absolutely free. In conjunction with Ghana, the On the Return series, we have brought the African Diaspora experience directly to you. To watch this monumental event absolutely free, simply register for membership at gotkushTV.com and you will receive access to Blacktricity as well as more exclusive content. Register now at gotkushTV.com.